What's good, people? CJ Williams for Culturalist Theory. When we mention great Brooklyn MCs, we often think of Biggie Smalls, Jay-Z, or Big Daddy Kane. Talib Kweli, coming out of the Park Slope section of this legendary New York borough, should be mentioned as well. Today, we're going to be ranking the catalog of one of hip-hop's most socially aware and lyrical pensmiths. We'll only be listing the 8 official solo studio albums from Talib, so none of the Reflection Eternal collab projects with producer Hi-Tek, nor his works with Mos Def, now Yasin Bey, as the other half of the rap group Black Star. Without further ado, let's dive in. Number 8. Fuck the money. It's been said the love of money is the root of all evil. On Kweli's 7th album, he sanctions this sentiment by titling it Fuck the Money and making it free for the people. While it's noble that Talib felt like feeding his fans conscious content at zero cost, this LP is left field in its layout. First and foremost, if you listen to Talib's entire catalog, you'll quickly discover he has just as much an excellent ear for beats as he has a way with words. But the instrumentals on Fuck the Money are experimental and abstract, mixing trap drum patterns, pitched up and down vocal samples, and tempos at a BPM that are just a tad too fast for Talib's talent. There are times when this avant-garde approach works, like Gratitude, produced by Thanks Joy, where Talib snaps and the instrumental slaps, The Venetian, featuring dope verses from Nico Is and Ab Soul, with a hauntingly dramatic beat from The Alchemist, and the epic closer Money Good, produced by Amadeus. Yet tracks like Nope, Nice Things, Fall Back with Styles P, and the fan favorite title track are misses even if Talib is lyrically limitless or the guests are on point, because the beats are just off-putting. Hidden in the rubble though, there is a special gem, and that's the track He Said She Said. Over a lively beat, Kweli drops 3 incredible verses delivered as cautionary tales about modern rappers floundering before flourishing. It's almost prophetic how his poetry predicted the loss of King Von, the overdose from Juice WRLD, and the rise of ratchets like Sexy Red. It's honestly one of Talib's greatest songs and definitely one you should check out. But other than the aforementioned tracks listed as great, there's not much here that'll turn you into a Kweli fan if you aren't one, or impress you if you're already acquainted with what he is capable of. Since this was a free album, there's no commercial or chart performance to mention, but since this is Talib Kweli we're talking about here, we'll assume it went platinum on Nah Right and Two Dope Boys. Number 7, Gutter Rainbows. On the eponymous introductory song on his 4th album, Gutter Rainbows, Kweli declares himself the voice of the voiceless and hope for the hopeless over a booming beat from M Phases. The facts of this statement rest solely on Talib's reputation as a socially conscious MC, whose songs like Get By, The Proud, and I Try affirm this. However, on his 2011 album, Kweli doesn't proceed to speak up much for anyone other than himself against rap critics, and again tries to attract an audience that has proven itself out of reach for him. This release was the beginning of an era of self-consciousness from the rapper synonymous with conscious rap, one in which he tried ducking and dodging the title foisted upon him as if it was unwarranted. Gutter Rainbows lacks cohesion as a body of work, though hypothetically it should have been his most adhesive account since it was his first fully independent project, the cardinal compilation of his labels Javadi Media and Blacksmith Music. With full creative control in his grasp, Kweli wastes 2 verses on Solo, attacking those who lambasted his earlier work, creates songs meant for radio like Mr. International that wouldn't even end up in a mix show's rotation, and rhyming for rhyming's sake with Jean Grey on Uh-Oh. By no stretch of the imagination is this to say this LP is not worth a spin, because Kweli at his lowest still reaches heights beyond most others' plateaus. Proof of this is on the standout tracks like the aforementioned title track and Cold Rain, where Ski Beats provides the gospel-inspired instrumentation that allows the contemplative Kweli we revere to appear. Noteworthy also is Tater Tot, a tale of a crime of passion, similar in nature to Nas's Undying Love or Blaze of 50, as well as Self-Savior, where rapper Chase Infinite joins Talib in spitting about societal ills. The album peaked at number 29 on the Billboard 200, which is not bad for an indie release and was generally well received by critics, but it pales in comparison to the album that preceded it from Talib Kweli and Cincinnati producer Hi-Tek as the duo Reflection Eternal, Revolutions Per Minute, that came out 1 year before this. It's possible that Kweli put more effort and focus into making sure that the second Reflection Eternal album was tight, knowing that the stakes were high due to it being a successor to their much beloved debut, hence his 4th solo album suffered. Number 6, Prisoner of Conscience. For better or worse, labels are ascribed to artists by the fans. Even if an artist bends genres or varies their subject matter or approach, titles succinctly summarizing them and their art still persist. In music, this allows the listeners to quickly sort out what they want to hear and what they don't. This kind of stereotyping sometimes frustrates artists, and that grievance for Talib Kweli is evident by the title of his 5th studio album, Prisoner of Conscience. This 2013 release came out on his independent label with distribution from EMI and Capitol Records, and is a step up from the preceding record Gutter Rainbows in production, songwriting, and focus. However, it's a continuation of Kweli trying to shake off the stereotype of being a conscious rapper. There are many good songs on here like Opener, Human Mike, the Paid in Full inspired Turned Up, and the high-tempo Afro Jazz High Life featuring rapper Rubik's, going back to back and bar for bar with Talib. There are some duds though, like the synth-heavy Upper Echelon produced by Harry Fraud, where Kweli can't read the room that this clearly won't ring in the club, and the discombobulated dissertation on a dysfunctional relationship on Delicate Flowers. Those letdowns are offset by some surprises though. J. Cole made the dope beat for the final song, It Only Gets Better, where Talib brings back a message to the music while Marsha Ambrosius croons the chorus. Kendrick Lamar and Currency appear together terrifically on Push Through to uplift and motivate the masses. The Busta Rhymes feature is okay on the densely lyrical Rocket Ships produced by the RZA, but Nelly of all people shows up and shows out lyrically on the track after that, Before He Walked, with undoubtedly his best feature. On that same song, Talib comes in on the second verse with the rhetorical question, so you're expecting the conscious and introspective views? That line sticks out during the 59 minutes of runtime that is Prisoner of Conscience because it's so revelatory on how he approached making this album. The LP went on to be another moderate commercial success, peaking at number 48 on Billboard 200, while being another achievement from music critics. But when assessing Talib Kweli's catalog, it ends up being just good enough from a great MC. Number 5, The Beautiful Struggle. The sophomore slump is a real thing. The possibility that a rapper's second album fails to meet commercial and or critical expectations is something that happens even to the best of them. When Nasty Nas reemerged as Escobar on It Was Written, some fans at the time turned on Nasir thinking he betrayed his roots. While Talib's second time at bat, 04's The Beautiful Struggle, is not him straying from his core, it does fall short artistically in comparison to its precedents. Though much like It Was Written, it was unduly derided if you go back and read reviews from that time. There are great tracks here like the audacious opener Going Hard featuring female singer-rapper Rez, the lo-fi but upbeat Back Up Off Me produced by Hi-Tek, and the Neptunes produced Broken Glass with its chaotic beat and top-notch bars. Kanye West returns to provide the soundscape for the Mary J. Blige collab I Try, another song that tries to uplift and capture the magic of Talib's hit Get By. It comes close but doesn't reach those same heights. John Legend arrives with a great chorus on one of the album's most moving songs, Around My Way, which is Kweli at maximum motion lyrically with his socially conscious pen. A highlight is hearing Talib respond to Hove's infamous moment of clarity mentioned on Ghetto Show featuring Common and Anthony Hamilton with the bar, if lyrics sold, then truth be told, I'd probably be just as rich and famous as Jay-Z. The title track and final song on The Beautiful Struggle is produced by Hi-Tek and is what we wish there was more of on this album. Kweli dropping socially conscious lyrics over multi-layered beats. However, there are obvious attempts here by Kweli to fight against his own strengths, like on the songs A Game, We Got the Beat, and We Know with Faith Evans. These are records where even if the lyrics and flows are on point, they come across as Kweli straining to make something interesting. While this album might have suffered on the critical end of the sophomore slump, it did chart better than his debut on the Billboard 100 and had a better initial commercial performance. This will be Talib Kweli's final album on his first label, Raucous Records, before going to a major, then independent. Number 4, Gravitas. Dignity, seriousness, or solemnity of matter, that's the definition for the noun gravitas. Judging by the ice grill Talib makes on the water cooler painted cover, the title accurately describes the presence Talib has on his 6th studio album. This slept-on 2015 joint was independently released on Kweli's Javadi imprint and shows true growth from an MC who up to that point had faced many highs and lows in the industry, yet maintained his respect as a top-tier lyricist. Finally, after years lost in the wilderness running from the mark of quote conscious rapper, On Ghetto Rainbows, Prisoner of Conscience, and Fuck the Money, Talib embraces what makes him unique fully on this LP. On here, his superior social commentary is alive and well on State of Grace, featuring singer Abby Dodson, where Talib wisely waxes over hip-hop's misogyny in third person from a woman's perspective over a symphony by Lord Quest. Oh No provides the stomping backdrop on the titan of a track Wormhole, on which Kweli breaks down the non-conspiratorial origins of the Illuminati. Absolutely glides over the Rich Kid Made beat for what's real, where there's as much substance as style, and where he delivers a hilarious line about telling the feds he's Moorish to avoid arrest. Mike Posner croons a simple yet effective chorus over a lo-fi thumping beat made by the legendary J Dilla on the closer, Colors of You, as Talib puts on a masterclass in rhyming. There are many highlights on Gravitas from beginning to end, but one of the most satisfactory moments on the album is on Rare Portraits, where Talib goes 48 bars straight recounting his come up in hip-hop from then to now, and ends with him rightfully claiming himself king, the road paver for the Kanyes, J. Cole's, and Kendricks. This song and the entire LP in general make you want to root for Kweli as the underdog who can't be kept down as he delivers rap excellence from track to track. Unfortunately, there is no chart or commercial performance information available for this release, but if anything is certain, this one you should stream. Before we get to the top 3, did you know Talib has a very dope podcast called People's Party? Described as a quote, idea lab where contemporary issues are discussed with thoughtful, passionate people who help shape the culture. The pod is well north of 100 episodes by now. Recently, Kweli called out BET for not being nominated for Best Hip Hop Platform, for them only to turn around and award Young Miami for Carisha Please, despite releasing only a handful of episodes that year. Yo, let us know in the comments, where would you rank People's Party when it comes to MC-led podcasts? I don't know about you, but that sounds like a list to me. Okay, back to the ranking. Number 3, quality. When a rapper makes their debut, usually their back is against the wall due to the pressure of wanting to make a positive first impression. There's a blank slate, and it's up to the artist to begin painting the canvas that will color their legacy. Very few rappers have come into the game already with classic material ascribed to them that still reverberates years after release. By the time Talib Kweli dropped his first solo LP, Quality, in 2002, his duo with rapper Mos Def, Black Star, had already released their universally acclaimed self-titled debut 4 years prior. He followed that up with an even arguably better tape, Train of Thought, in Y2K as the lead MC in the group Reflection Eternal with producer Hi-Tek. It can be assumed that Kweli would have felt the compulsion to deliver another masterwork. That type of pressure would have made a lot of other artists buckle under the weight of expectations. Talib brings his A-game here to carry that torch while standing on his own too. The backpack rap sound that earned him praise on the 2 records that preceded his debut, Quality, is definitely prevalent, but the album is varied in its themes and sounds, seemingly swinging for the stars. Comedian Dave Chappelle opens the album with a tongue-in-cheek story before Kweli bursts in with bars on the up-tempo Rush, where producer Megahertz blends rap and rock. Then comes Get By, a rousing anthem for the salt of the earth folks just trying to survive that leans heavily on its refrain and angelic choral hook. Get By, the 3rd single from Quality, required Talib and his manager to get on the independent grind and send the record to DJs directly after the prior 2 singles flopped. Their gamble paid off because it ended up peaking at number 77 on the Hot 100 and still stands as Kweli's most successful solo song. This high-energy record was produced by then little-known Chicagoan Kanye West, who was still trying to get anyone to take him seriously as a rapper. Kweli and Ye ended up becoming frequent collaborators, and Talib let Mr. West open for him on his subsequent tour for Quality. Kanye produced 3 of the 15 tracks here, and the head-nodding beat for Gorilla Monsoon Rap is Absolute Flames and features fire bars from Pharoah Monch, plus show-stealing verses from Black Thought. Other great songs are the West Coast flavored Put It in the Air, produced by DJ Quick, the soulful Where Do We Go, featuring Rez, as well as Stand to the Side, both produced by Detroit's late great J Dilla. The only hindrance on the album is that the pace kind of slows when Talk to You drags on a bit longer than it should, and the gangster raps on Gun Talk seem odd coming from Talib, even if he's drawing parallels to global violence. Quality was a moderate commercial success, peaked at number 21 on Billboard 200 and went gold. It was a critical darling and earned rave reviews upon its release. Number 2, Radio Silence. Talib Kweli's 8th and last solo album was released in 2017, and that's a shame because the trajectory he was on as an artist on his own was excellent based on the music of Gravitas and especially Radio Silence. silence. Some longtime fans of one of Brooklyn's finest might be perturbed we're putting his curtain call over his debut, but if you listen to Radio Silence next to Quality, you'll hear a more refined, mature MC than the Kweli of 15 years earlier. The lyrics, as always, are luminous, and the production here is densely musical, layered with different sounds and instruments. At only 11 tracks long, each song sounds detailed and concisely crafted during the LP's 46 minutes. There are a plethora of jams here. The Magic Hour, produced by Alchemist, is a great opener. Traveling Light, produced by K Tronada, features vivid vocals from Anderson .Paak, complementing Talib's lyrics, and the collaboration we've all needed between Jay Electronica and Kweli exceeds all expectations on all of us. Talib's storytelling skills are superior on the Oh No produced She's My Hero, a spine-chilling tale about a 14-year-old ending the domestic abuse of her mother by killing the abuser. Waka Flocka appears and spits pure flames on the rebel-rousing trap track Chip, a song you think might fail at first glance but wins when you give it a chance. The One I Love features exemplary vocals from BJ the Chicago Kid, and Talib finally doing a captivating love song. Ricky Rose's baritone voice complements Kweli's high-pitched performance well over the gospel-inspired Heads Up featuring Yummy Bingle. The only major misstep on this LP is the title track, where Talib goes a little too ethereal with the subject matter, and the beat is reminiscent of the experimentalism on Fuck the Money. To feel this song, you'd have to be on shrooms. However, songs like The Closer, Right at Home are meaningful, melodic, and moving, the quintessential adjectives for this album. No chart status or sales on record to speak of, but this is diamond status for heads appreciative of grown man rap. Number 1, Eardrum. A magnum opus is a work of art, music, or literature that is regarded as the most important or best that an artist or writer has produced. Sometimes it's really hard to nail down one in a catalog when you're analyzing a prolific artist like Talib Kweli, who consistently released substantive records over 2 decades. But if you were to really break down what makes Talib an elite rapper, his idiocentric flow pattern, the meaningful messages in his music, and an above-average ability to select superb beats, you'd have to conclude that his third album, Eardrum, is his masterpiece. Released on Warner Brothers Records in conjunction with Kweli's first independent imprint, Blacksmith Music, after parting ways with the soon-to-be defunct Rawkus, the major label marketing propelled this 2007 album to achieve the number 2 slot on the Billboard 200 upon debut, selling 60K first week. This was, and still is, the most commercially successful in Kweli's catalog. It's well-deserved because this isn't an LP where Talib sold his soul to gain the globe. He's as conscious, lyrical, and experimental here as he is on his most revered works. It just works best here because the medicine he's often trying to spoon feed in the candy is more easily digestible. That's largely due to the who's who of producers he has providing the soundscape. Madlib, Kanye West, Just Blaze, Pete Rock, Battle Cat, Hi-Tek, will.i.am, and more all show up with beats that sound like they came out of a desktop folder simply labeled fire. That helps a lot, not because Talib struggles with selecting production, but because songs like the grimy New York Weather Report, produced by Nick Speed, the uplifting Oh My Stars with Raheem Devon, orchestrated by DJ Khalil, or Listen, sound much more lush, full, and multi-layered than any of the instrumentals Talib flexed his words over before or since. Talib is an MC who would have to struggle to write a bad 16, so harping on his penmanship is moot, but other rappers bring their A-game here as featured guests. Kanye, at that time in his Louis Vuitton Don era, drops one of his best assists on In the Mood. Bun B and Pimp C both represent the South with pride and brilliance on Country Cousins, and KRS-One brings that boisterous blastmaster energy while going back and forth with Talib on the perfect beat, clocking in well over 60 minutes with a 20-song track list, not counting the 3 bonus joints. This is by far Talib's longest album, but it doesn't drag its feet in duration. There isn't a song here that deserves a skip when playing it back on the merit of it faltering, only that you're in a rush to get to the next track that enthralls you most. Yo, when it comes to conscious rappers, Talib Kweli is synonymous with the term as Windy City legend Common. If you're into that genre of hip-hop, check out this video we made ranking the albums of Common Sense here. Thanks for watching. It's your man CJ Williams. I'm out.